Tonight, you don't just watch the news, you become part of the story. A lot of us out in the elements tonight talking about the wild wind that we saw here in the borderland. Normally, right there, you would see the Franklin Mountains covered in dirt, blowing in the air. Yeah, I recorded that video at about 7:30. I'm still dusting all the dirt off of me. The brown sky swallowing the Franklin Mountains, you see. And we have crews all over the borderland tonight.
I've heard that people driving from Las Cruces to El Paso are having to pull over in some areas because of the low visibility.
Yeah, we have been watching the roads closely, as Jerry just reported that on Facebook. And we recorded some traffic cameras showing you the wind blowing through. New tonight, part of I-10 shut down completely. Could be because of the weather. We'll take a look. And more breaking news. We're getting a clear shot thanks to an ABC-7 viewer. If you know someone in East El Paso without power, it's because of the weather, and now you can tell them why. Also, that fire continues to burn in Timberon with a former fire chief falling victim to it. He and his wife just lost their home. We'll have the latest from the New Mexico Mobile Newsroom. And in storm track weather, our coverage continues. Iris, I should say.
We still have that first alert in place for that heat, but for tonight, expect those winds to calm down. We still are tracking activities on Doppler radar. We'll talk more about that coming up.
Thank you, Iris. ABC 7 at 9 starts right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley at Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC 7 at 9 on the El Paso Las Cruces CW.
Hello, everybody. This is ABC 7 at 9 on the CW. It's a very busy night on this Friday. The wild weather is something we're dealing with right now. Take a look. I was trying my hardest to stay up. The wind was blowing me down, not just my camera. From the heat to the wind, this is video I shot on my cell phone at about 7:30 this evening. And just like the storm track weather team told you could happen, we saw a sudden change in weather. And within a few hours, the borderland was covered in a thick layer of dirt. Now, a live look at I-10 tonight on the west side. This is by Sunland Park, where the westbound lanes of I-10 completely closed right now. No word if it's because of the blowing dust. But we do know there is an accident there, and it happened about an hour ago, or in the last hour. It shut down. Again, I-10 West near Sunland Park is a mess tonight. Avoid it if you can. But as ABC-7 reporter Jerry Naheda told us on Facebook, the ABC-7 Facebook page, there was low visibility, and drivers along the stretch of I-10 had to pull over.
50 to 60 mile per hour winds. I've heard that people driving from Las Cruces to El Paso are having to pull over in some areas because of the low visibility and the high winds. And this is another thing that you gotta watch out for. Right behind me right here, construction signs in the middle of the road.
Yeah, he was saying construction signs in the middle of the road. Not too far from there, there's this more video, new at 9, showing exactly what Jerry's talking about. The video shot off Executive near I-10 around 8 o'clock or so. It shows all those construction barrels blown in the road, certainly causing a traffic hazard. The construction signs even toppled by the strong wind. Now, we'll get to more video and more news related to the storm tonight, but first, let's get the latest from Storm Tracker Iris Lopez. You're in the weather lab right now. First, the extreme heat, which will be back eventually, but for right now, the focus is on the wind.
Yes, a lot of people. You know, we did mention there was going to be a sudden change, but as you mentioned, it went from very hot to all of a sudden very windy, very dusty, and then came that rain. Well, this is why we're still under that ABC-7 first alert. Keep in mind, for tonight, those winds will calm down as the storms calming down as well for tonight. The heat advisories are still in our forecast. They are extended till Sunday. Plus, for the weekend, we can expect more heat and the rain continues. We'll talk more about that and look at Doppler radar coming up.
All right, thanks so much for that, Iris. We do appreciate that. New at 9, that power outage on the east side of El Paso. Now we know it is because of the weather after all. We weren't sure for a little while, but an El Paso Electric spokesman taking to Facebook tonight saying, due to the high winds in our service area, we are seeing outages. Our line crews continue to work on restoring power as safely and quickly as possible. As of a few minutes ago, power is still out in the area near Yarborough and Springwood. The electric company is saying up to 5,000 customers could be without power this evening, And each customer, keep in mind, is just one household. So considering each house probably has more than one person, there could be a lot more than 5,000 people without power tonight in El Paso. Here on ABC 7 at 9, you don't just watch the news, you become part of the story. Like Armando Juante, his cell phone video showing us all those power lines that were knocked down along the Yarborough and I-10 area and then up and down Yarborough. Armando called our newsroom to let us know about this, so thank you very much. We do appreciate that. And another viewer had sent us some video trying to get it into our system right now, but it did show power lines just toppled down along Yarborough as well. So be safe out there. A little while ago, Jerry actually was reporting on our Facebook page as the storm was rolling off the mountain. Tonight, he is still out there in the elements. But first, I want to show you one more photo. This is from Tatiana Avila, our assistant news director here at ABC7. Her drive along Yarborough by Springwood, showing the traffic lights are out. So if you are driving in that area, please be aware the power outage will be affecting traffic as well. Tatiana, thank you. Now we're going to get to Jerry again, who is still out in the elements tonight. He's in West El Paso right now. Jerry, it went from the heat, then the strong wind. We even saw rain a few minutes ago. Let's give you a live look outside now with Jerry.
Bob, I'm at the intersection of Mesa and Belvedere. I want you to take a look behind me. Traffic headed west on Mesa is being diverted right now. They're diverting it onto Belvedere Road. Police are telling me this closure is weather related, but they didn't give me any specific details. I spoke to a couple who came walking from the area, and they say it looked like something had fallen from the power lines, and police asked them to stay away because of a possible threat of electrocution. And just hours earlier, the winds in the area were hitting between 50 and 60 miles per hour. That caused some low visibility on the roads. I actually removed a road sign from the middle of the street. Our reporter Josie Ortegon, who was on her way back from Timberon in Mexico, said people were pulling over on the side of the road because the winds were so bad. Back out here live, crews just got here a while ago, so it looks like Mesa Street headed west near the Belvedere area will be closed off for some time. Bob, back to you.
All right, Jerry, thanks so much. And everybody, take Jerry's advice. Avoid that area if you can. We don't need to report any electrocutions, so hopefully everybody stays safe. All right, take a look at the borderland, what it looked like at about 7:30 from a different point of view. Yeah, believe it or not, there is a city down below that haze. We recorded this video, again, at 7:30 on the ABC-7 Mountain Cam, which is usually a very clear shot of the city down below. But it just goes to show how thick the layer of dirt blowing in the air was about an hour and a half ago. And I also shot some more video, this outside the ABC-7 studios, about the same time as that. Now take a listen. I did a little voiceover for you just to give you some perspective on how loud the wind was and how the mountains just virtually disappeared. Giving you perspective of what it looks like at about 10 till 8 this evening. This is behind the ABC-7 studio where normally, right there, you would see the Franklin Mountains covered in dirt, blowing in the air. They've seemingly disappeared. The wind is blowing me and the camera around. So, I'm going to get back inside. Just wanted to give you guys an idea of what we're up against today. Yeah, and I had that phone right next to my face, and you could barely hear me at some points. Again, here is some recorded traffic camera video at about that time. As Josie Ortegon was reporting earlier, a lot of folks along I-10 in between Cruces and El Paso had to pull over off to the side of the road because visibility was so poor. Live on ABC-7 at 6, we showed you this system rolling through, and Estella and Dave were talking about how the visibility was about to get bad, and that's what happened shortly after. Again, a live look now back out to our breaking news coverage on the west side of town. I-10 is now shut down. It's like a parking lot, if you will. We're being told it is an accident, but whether the accident was caused, or the crash, I should say, was caused by the weather, no word on that. It's a high probability, but again, we cannot say for sure. But what we can say is what is going to happen next outside weather-wise. Avoid that situation if you can. Meantime, Iris, everybody wants to know, is the heat coming back? When's it coming back? And what about the wind?
Yes, unfortunately, for those that aren't a fan of the heat, it still is coming back. As far as those winds go, for tonight, though, the winds should slowly start calming down. But getting back to earlier when we saw that wind and dust, take a look at this picture. This was over in northeast El Paso. You can't see anything over there. This picture was sent to us earlier, right when we saw that storm starting to begin. But now it looks like things are slowly but surely starting to calm down. Let's take a closer look here in El Paso. You can see some light rain over near Anthony, Canutillo, Sunland Park. Jerry was on that side of town, and you saw on the streets they had some of that rain down there. Well, it looks like the worst has already passed us. If we take things over near this area, you can see non-residential area, but still, nonetheless, you see that storm, and then we go all the way up until Sierra Blanca and Van Horn. You can see the heavier storm already passing by Sierra Blanca and Van Horn. We'll take another look at Doppler radar and see what those temperatures are like for today and for the rest of your work week and weekend coming up. Bob?
All right, thanks so much for that, Iris. Again, our live coverage continues now and on Facebook and Twitter. Send us your viewer photos. I took one of those on my cell phone. Just wanted to give you an idea of how easy it is. So you can show us what you're seeing and we can see you on the CW. Again, you can share them with us using the hashtag ABC7 First Alert. All right, from our New Mexico mobile newsroom tonight, we have been following that situation out in Timberon, New Mexico, about 2.5-hour drive northeast of El Paso. This is the former fire chief of Timberon, Richard Dysart. He and his wife lost their house in this fire that continues to burn. They were talking to crews up there explaining their story. So sad to see them go through this tonight. They and at least 30 other homeowners are dealing with the same problem tonight.
We'll go off at home or somewhere and cry. But all we've lost is stuff. We haven't lost each other.
Oh, 81 years old. Now Dysart is saying that he cannot even imagine how he and his wife are going to begin to rebuild. Again, our New Mexico mobile newsroom with Josie Ortegon giving us the latest on that fire in Timberon.
Another long day here in Cloudcroft for the residents displaced after the Timberon fire broke out on Wednesday. Now, although the fire did not grow or spread overnight, crews are not allowing residents to go back to their homes until they're sure that the area is safe. We were able to see the damage firsthand, and what we saw was tragic.
And it was nothing but black and red and white, and it was moving straight this way.
Timberon resident Mark Clark described the fear as he realized it was a fire approaching him.
But it moved fast, quick.
He, like dozens of other residents, evacuated from Timberon with only the clothes on their backs. But he was one of the lucky ones, the fire narrowly missing his home.
And thank God we're safe, but so many other people got devastated and just lost everything. One road over.
I want to show you just how close the fire came to Mark Clark's home. This is maybe about a football field away, maybe 100 yards away. And as you can see, that part of the forest is badly burnt. But if you look at Clark's property, it remains untouched, unscathed. And he credits that to maintaining his yard, thinning it out, and doing a lot of praying.
We were preserved. It was a miracle.
Before checking his home once again and packing for another few nights at the shelter, Clark drove us through what's left of Timberon. The small town now a ghost town. Trees gone, land charred. The fast-moving fire burning 290 acres and damaging or destroying 67 homes. You can still see and smell a lot of the smoke here in some parts of the forest. This mobile home here, destroyed. As we drove through, you could see the traces of the fire's violent path. Home after home, now just rubble and ash. A chimney is all that's left at one home, a fire spot still burning. A wooden gate outside another, still standing. In here, another mobile home destroyed, and the car, charred. Clark says seeing the devastation is heartbreaking. Tonight, he'll be counting his blessings.
I'm just thankful that everything turned out all right for us and that Timberon's still here.
The cause is still under investigation, and crews are hoping for a higher containment number by tonight. Reporting in Cloudcroft from our New Mexico mobile newsroom, Josie Ortegon, ABC-7.
Thanks so much for that, Josie. We do appreciate that. And again, Timberon, about 40 miles outside of the Cloudcroft area, not too far from Alamogordo as well. Stay with ABC7 throughout the weekend. Our New Mexico mobile newsroom crew will continue to watch the situation there. We'll update you on social media. And of course, we have the only weekend morning news crew working this story for you and all the other day's news. So again, Good Morning El Paso weekend, ABC7 on social media, and of course, KVIA.com is where you can stay updated. Another big breaking news story today, the situation in Turkey where there was a military coup that reportedly was unsuccessful, but for a long time, people thought it was. Tense situation today. We'll have that coming up in just a little bit, plus more of your viewer photos. This is ABC7 at 9 on the CW. We'll be right back.